There are some audio issues with this episode, but please listen. There's some great information and nuggets. You're listening to 419 Education and Training Need to Connect podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of 419 Education and Training Need to Connect podcast. I'm your host, Devonna Willis, and I am here with the great and awesome Audrey. And so we'll get to the intros in a sec, but just some housekeeping first. So the conference is around the corner, so I hope you register. Remember, if you don't know, we do have virtual tickets as well. So go online, we have virtual tickets. We have 4 online courses as well as a bonus class for CE. So, and then we also have virtual exhibitors, and then they have their products. So check it out online. We also have the hotel, so please register for your hotel. And we're excited. So we're going to get this podcast going. And one more thing. T-shirts, we have our T-shirts, the Black History, I Am Black History T-shirt, and on the black it says Black Massage Therapist, so get those as well. And let's get started with Audrey. So welcome, Audrey.
Thank you, Devonna. Thank you for honoring me to be on your show as well as participating in the conference. I'm really excited.
Absolutely. So Audrey is local for me here in Arizona. And so she will be one of our virtual courses that we'll have. And so I'll have her introduce herself and tell us about the class that she will be teaching that will be virtual.
Yep. Thank you, Devonna. I have been a massage therapist for about 18 years in Arizona here. And I love doing massage, but I love the sound therapy that's like been calling me. I've been using it in my practice now for over 18 years. And it's just been something that I've found that kind of it helps people get into a deeper state of relaxation. So not only being certified to teach the sound therapy classes, but also just bringing in, what I do, like hospice. I go to hospice. I do work with oncology patients. I do end of life gentle touch and anointing blessings. I also officiate weddings and I do homegoing services, or we say homegoing in our community. Different community would call it a funeral. So, but I like to do the sound therapy because it is one of many passions, but it is a good thing, I think, in my life and as well as others.
Okay, that's awesome. So very well rounded, right? And so that's for sure about the homegoing, right? You know the Lord, you know where you're going.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
So one of the things, like coming from the sports medicine side of things, I didn't know anything about those sound bowls, right? Let's be honest, right? So we're very medical, very scientific on that side. But I learned it when I moved out here to Arizona. So being from New York, I didn't hear about that either. But moving out here to Arizona, I felt like, there was more, how do you want to say it?
There's more woo-woo.
More woo-woo, especially if you're like in Sedona. Sedona is north of us, it's 2 hours north of us. It's God's country. It's beautiful. Red Rocks. I said, if anybody is ever in the Arizona, Phoenix area, you definitely need to visit.
Absolutely.
But I was like, what is all this stuff between the crystals and the bowls and all that stuff? But I will tell you, when I was in a car accident a few years ago, my chiropractor actually did it.
Ah,
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
and typically you would think more it'll be more geared towards like females are used to things of that nature, but he was a male and he was all about his bowls.
Oh,
And
yes.
he pulled out his bowls during my sessions. So
Oh,
I
my
thought that was interesting. I thought that
goodness.
was interesting. And, I started hearing he was educating me a little bit about it. And, you hear this or that, this is what's going on. So, yeah, so tell us about the sound bowls and, like, what made you get into it? Because I know, the community really doesn't, at least the black community
Yeah.
overall, don't really know about sound bowl therapy.
Yeah. For me, I had to have my knees replaced. That's what got me into it. And I do have two knee placements, but I was using the sound bowls on my body. I would put them on my knee and ring it. And it would help me manage just my pain level. It wouldn't make it go away, but it would make it go from like a 8 to like a 4.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, without taking like, they throw all these like pain pills at you and stuff.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, I'm trying to like not take that, but still like not be in pain. So that benefit of it for me would last for about 2 to 3 days.
Oh.
Yes. And when I take it into like the oncology sessions or even into hospice, I've gone into hospice with it. It is just for comfort for those populations. There's a oncologist that wrote a book, Dr. Taylor, I believe is his name, that talks about giving his oncology patients sound bowls to take home with them. And it just helps them focus on something other than what they're going through at that time. It helps them to, go into more of a meditative state as far as being in the moment and being present, because when you're going through oncology treatments, it's a lot.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
a
yeah.
lot, a lot.
Okay, so what is the method behind it? Like, so when I had my wellness center, I did have a contract with a cancer treatment center here in the valley, and we would go in and do a lymphatic because, that's one of my specialties. And so we would do a lymphatic massage, and then if the people couldn't get their appointments there, then they would come into our office. So we did not have sound bowl. We had another person would go in and do acupuncture. We had someone who did facials, specific facials for cancer patients. Yeah, so tell me about oncology and sound bowls. What does it do for
Well,
them?
let me also just say that too. You know how Bob Marley has said, when you hear music, you feel no pain? That's kind of how it's relatable to the sound bowls. It's
Okay.
like when you are in the vibration of the sound, it helps decrease pain levels in the body and kind of helps balance the brain. I'm a big music person. I play the string bass. I've got a ukulele. I do African drumming. I got djembes at my office. We do drumming circles. And so for me, like music is big in my life and vibration is big. And being from Detroit, it's all about the music anyway, being
Right,
from Detroit.
right, right.
So it's just get your mind off of the current situation or the pain, or if you have a headache. I've had people come to class with a bad headache, like about an 8 or a 9, and I'll put the bowl on their head,
On the head.
on the head,
Okay.
like a hat,
Like a
and
hat.
then I'll strike it. Yeah.
And it doesn't, I'm thinking about the old Bugs Bunny cartoons. And
Like it does vibrate
okay.
and it does help them, but it will help decrease the pain of the headache. Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's interesting. Hello, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share our 419 Education and Training Need to Connect podcast. That's
Um,
interesting, yeah, because like I said, so when I got it done with chiropractic, obviously if you're in for Arizona, people always get in car accidents out here. People don't know how to drive. So I got T-boned by like an 18-year-old, and he was
what?
just like, "I'm so sorry."
Oh my God.
Yeah. So anyhow, still low back pain. So I would definitely feel the vibration. I would, like I told you, I would hear it differently. So he's like, "Here you're good, but listen to this." And basically, it's like in the massage world, like you're stuck.
Mm-hmm.
The energy is stuck, so it sound different. And so he would do the bowl, and he had like little bowls, big bowls,
Mm-hmm.
and then he'll do the adjustment. So yeah, so it was interesting. I don't know. I don't remember it to being for sure like my pain was gone because of that, but I know it definitely assisted with me knowing what was going on in my body without
Mm-hmm.
me, like I'm feeling pain, but it helped localize it, if you get what I'm saying.
Yep, absolutely. It's kind of like the same thing with the tuning forks too. Like if you're doing the tuning forks on the body, like you'll know when the vibration is going through, like you said, if it's stuck in the tissue. So it's kind of like that same thing. The way that I use them in my practice, where I use them before massage, it helps me to know where, like, okay, this person's got like some stuck
Right? Yeah.
goo or some stuck,
And so,
uh,
how do you introduce a new client? Like, let's just talk about have you had any Black or Hispanic clientele in your facility?
yes,
And have they heard about sound bowl therapy prior to coming to you?
yes, yeah,
Okay, so they already
and my
know.
classes too. They already know.
Okay, what about
Yeah.
those who don't know?
Those who don't know are still open to it. I've
Okay.
had a couple of ladies. I've got, I don't know, like God sent me like 15 women from Chicago, right? They're all
Right.
moving to Phoenix. They're like, yeah, we're in Phoenix now. And I'm like, okay, Chicago's in the house. And then I just kind of introduce it to them. When they're face down, I'll put the bowl on their back. Okay.
Okay. Is
And
it
then
the
I'll
bowl
strike
is
it.
up or is it down?
It's up.
Okay, so you put it
Yeah.
up on your back.
Yeah.
So
And
like just walk me through it. So okay, so you do your introduction because because when it's foreign to us, we be
they'd be like, oh, I don't know
right.
about that. Yeah, I get that. And
But
believe
shoot,
me,
what kind of
Chicago did not
I
hold
know that's
me.
what I'm saying. Let's be real with it. Like, they like, what kind of witchcraft are you trying to do on me, right? So that's what I'm saying. Walk me through it for someone like the Chicago ladies that you had come through.
Hmm.
How did you introduce it to them? So go ahead.
So, so I would just, when I'm doing my intake, I just let them know, would you like to try the sound bowl on a part of your body, either your back or on your stomach or chest area? And they go, yeah, you can put it on my back. I'm like, okay. I get them down, face down. Before I do my massage, I don't have oils on my hands when I touch the Tibetan bowls.
Okay.
Okay. So they're face down. I place probably two bowls on their back, kind of like how your chiropractor did it. So, and then I would strike them, and then I have a suction cup, like I can pick the bowl up and move it on different parts of the body using this suction cup. And
Okay.
so, and they're like, oh, I feel that. It feels good. Or it feels like, oh, I feel that. And then sometimes when I do strike it and it like doesn't go through the body, and I say go through the body, so go through any tissues or as we will call it in Reiki, where the auric bodies, right?
Okay.
Around the body. So if they're like, "Oh, I feel like that didn't go through my tissues," they'll say this is their language, right?
Right. Right.
And they'll say it didn't go through, or I'll be like, yeah, it does feel like there is a clog right there, right? Or like the energy is stuck there.
Okay.
So after I do that for about 15 minutes, I'll go all around the body, put it on their legs, on their knees, their feet, and yes, even their head sometimes. And then when I start my massage, I will get to that area where the bowl did not, where the sound didn't go through the tissues.
Right.
Like this is an area where you had some stuck energy, and I'm working on your tissues, and you also need some myofascial release, or you got a trigger point there.
Got it.
So that's how
Bring
it
it
kind
all
of,
together.
yeah. So it like the bowl acts like a loudspeaker, right? And it's saying, hey, there's an issue right here in the tissues, and
Got
it
it.
needs work.
Got
And so when I go work on the person, I'm like, remember when the bowl was here and I was like telling you there was some tissue or myofascial release or something that needed to happen. They're like, yeah, I remember that. Well, how does it feel now? Right? Versus when the bowl was on there and now that it's working out, she goes, oh yeah, it does feel like there's a trigger point there or something stuck.
So
Yeah.
do you go back and put the bowls back on there so
Yeah.
they can hear the difference?
Yeah. So they can feel the difference too.
Right. And at that point, they're like, oh, okay, I can hear it now.
Like the light bulb came on. They're like, oh, okay, I can. And then sometimes if I don't do it when they come in, they're like, how come you didn't do the bowls on me this time? I'm like, I'm sorry, I didn't know. You were telling me about other stuff, so they
Okay.
keep me in line.
So for that situation, you said you did the bowls for 15 minutes. Does that take away from their massage time or that's included?
It's included.
Okay.
Yeah, it's either so it's like I do a full 60 or a full 90 or a full 75 minute. So it'll be 15 minutes in addition to their 60, 75, or 90 minute.
It is in addition.
Yes.
Got it. Got it.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want the lady to feel like, well, you did the bowl for 15 minutes and you ripped me off for my.
Hey, you didn't work on me, girl. Come on, Chicago would let me know
That's what
now,
I'm
okay?
saying. I was.
They will let me know. Or even if I have a gong in my massage room too. So even if I don't do the gong for them before I end their session, they will let me know, like, why did you do the gong for me? Like, okay. All right.
That's so. Yeah, they keep you in.
They keep they keep me in line, but they love it. They love it. And then they'll send people to me from out of town. They'll be like, okay, my cousin's coming in town this weekend. I want to make an appointment with you for sound and massage.
Right. So here's the deal, right? You work
Hmm.
for yourself. You've been working for yourself. You're at the point you're starting to teach and everything, and I know you want to bring somebody else on or phase down or out a little bit.
Yeah.
It's only on you. How do you find somebody that could do what you do?
Well, that's why I wanted to start teaching. So what I do is, well, my goal for teaching the sound is to bring sound therapy to low income women of all backgrounds. I've had a lot of Hispanic women and African American women in my classes, and I do offer a grant, I will say, to someone to attend free once a month if they can't afford it. Because I want this to be a viable thing that people can take and help others with.
Nice.
So
But these are just is these actual like therapists or these are just everyday people that's taking a sound class that just want the work?
both.
Oh,
It's been both. I've had both lay people. I've had a couple of yoga teachers come in, and I've had a couple of people who have their own nonprofit that works with neurodivergent, which is like ADD and ADHD
okay.
populations. So they're coming in to take the class so they can take it back out into their communities.
So how long is the class?
The class is 8 hours.
Okay.
It is nationally approved with the Massage Therapy Board.
Yep.
It's on, usually I try to have it on one Saturday a month from 9 a.m. to 5:30. We do
Okay.
take a break. We do hands-on. When they come in, they do a guided meditation. We get everybody on the same page, right? And then we'll talk about like what the bowls do, how to create your own sound session in your space. These are the things that I have, my massage chair, my massage table. And I'm like, put the person in the massage chair. This is how we do it with the massage chair. Do you need that equipment? No. If you have it, great.
Right.
Yeah.
So like for me, like sound like I'm gonna have to do something after this conference. Girl.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
I just probably need my own little session before I can do a class, to be
Yeah.
honest. But
Or not.
huh?
or not, just come and see, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, do they have to purchase bowls before taking the class, or do you provide the bowls? How does that work?
Well, because of her doing things with the national board, I can't sell bowls to licensed massage therapists, but I have a lot of information that I give to the people who come to class as to where I have gotten bowls. I've got probably 40 bowls that are available. Yeah, I got a little bit. I got a couple of bowls at my office.
You got a lot of bowls.
I got the equipment.
You
So, and they're Tibetan bowls. I have a couple of the crystal bowls, but because when the class is approved or got approved with the board, you have to have the bowls on the body, right? They have to be able to be on the body, movable, and placed on the body. So they're the Tibetan bowls. They're very sturdy, and I go through how to keep them and clean them and do all that stuff like that. But there are, I would say, the cost of the bowls, you can get a bowl for $50 at the resources that I have, or you can spend $2,000
for those singing bowls.
for a singing bowl. Yes, I have one at my office that you will stand in at the end of class. Everybody gets a chance to stand in it. Okay. It was
And
$2,500. Yeah.
whoa! But
Yeah.
you hit it, and then the whole body vibrates.
Yep.
That feels good. That's like, what's that thing? My husband's personal trainer has it. It's like,
The vibration
yeah,
plate.
the vibration plate. Thank
Yep.
you. When you
Same
stand up and
thing
you're like
almost. Yep.
doing all that, right? All
Yep.
right,
And you have a bowl on your head too.
do you?
Yep.
Nice, nice. So for the people, obviously hers is online, so it's more of an introduction. So that means if
Hmm.
you want the real deal, you're gonna have to come to Arizona and get the real deal, right? And it's
For
around.
now.
It's around.
Yeah.
Next
Yep.
year we'll try to. We'll see what we'll do next year. I'll be speaking to you offline about certain things. But yeah, but I think that's fun. I think that's a great course. I'm happy that we're introducing people to it if they haven't heard about it, and or those that's new to the industry as well. Some therapists is new to the industry and they might have talked about it like for a hot second in school, but nothing else. So that would be
Mhm.
great. So let me ask a little bit questions about your career as a massage therapist. How did you feel coming from a city like Detroit, which is predominantly is a lot of black folks, let's be honest,
Mhm.
and then
Yep.
coming to Phoenix? How long have you been in Phoenix?
I've been in Phoenix since '07.
Okay, so we're almost a couple of years apart from being in Phoenix.
Yeah.
So when I moved, and I know you moved here, it was like 0.5%,
Yeah.
1%, right, of black
Yeah.
folks, largely Hispanic, which it makes sense, right? We're very close to Mexico.
Hmm.
Um, and then obviously, white. So how, when you transition to having your own business, how was that for you?
It was challenging moving from Detroit to here, but I knew that I was supposed to be here. I was doing mortgages for 14 years in Michigan. And if you remember '07, everything crashed. I lost my job. I was making six figures and I was like, oh, now what am I going to do? And then it was just by the grace of God that I had my massage therapy graduation and certificate from Michigan. So when I was like, okay, I'm going to move to Arizona, checked out you know, the income and everything out here. And it was culture shock. I did have people, I had a lady come and tell me she never had a massage from a black person before. And I was like, oh,
Black people never had a
yeah. It's like, oh, okay. So the challenges that I met was finding a place for my business, finding clientele who would be consistent. Okay. And now I'm booked out until September, the middle of September.
Woo!
Okay.
And we're
So
recording this. This is August, so that just tells you how good she is. Beginning of August.
Yep. Yep. And I just know that with consistency, with prayer, with resilience, it has not been, it hasn't been totally easy. I've had to get a part-time job. I worked at Apple for a couple of years as part-time and helped my job, my massage therapy business part-time. And now I'm to the point now where I have a facility that's 1,400 square feet, and I have people renting from me, and we are able to offer different classes, yoga, sound therapy, women's circle, drumming circle. So it's just by the grace of God that things have increased. Yes.
Right. But no, that's all of our journeys, right? We all have a journey, especially starting business. I'm so happy that you said that you did have, to work part time somewhere else
Mhm.
in order to get your finances. Because we all have to do that sometimes. That,
Yeah.
when I started my own business, I was working part time at a breast specialist. Like,
Mm.
that was her, we saw breast cancer patients, but we saw people who just had cysts and all sorts of things. But that
Mhm.
also helped me with my lymphatic business side of the
Yep.
business, right? And so, but yeah, you have to do what you have to do in order to survive, in order to make it, in order to eat, in order to pay your bills,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Absolutely. So tell us something about once you started establishing yourself in the industry, like, did you know about sound bowls beforehand? What classes were you interested in the beginning of your massage career?
I had always been interested in sound, and I had a sound bowl that traveled with me from Michigan. Like, yeah,
Oh, you was
like,
ahead of the game.
yeah, like it was like, just something that I had for myself. I'm sorry, what was the second part of that question? I just lost it just as soon as I.
Now, it's okay. So, what made you get into like the courses that you took in order to find your niche, right? So, sound bowl is one of your niche, but what were some of the classes that you took in order to get to where you're at today?
Let's see, some of the classes I took. I took classes at Southwest Institute of Healing Arts, which is SWIHA out here. I took it was supposed to just be for yoga people, but I was like, no, you guys need to let me take this class. It'll be good for my business, right? And they did, thank God. So I kind of like nudged my way into that. And then I also took classes online. There's a couple of online courses with life changing energy. It's okay doing things online, but I think with the bowls, they just have to be felt, they have to be held. You have to, you know, be open and ready for that experience. Yeah.
So you were
Um,
always ready. You was always going to the more of the energy side of the work versus more of like the medical, deep, or whatever else type of work.
well, I mean, I'm certified in Thai yoga massage. I'm certified in Reiki. I'm also certified to work with oncology patients in, the hospice. I think hospice, when I got ordained, was already in my blood, like the end of life type of thing. I don't call myself an end of life doula. I call myself end of life gentle touch and prayer. Okay. So yeah, not so much medical. I did do like, some medical things with Jimmy, Dialis out here, but mostly just the energy part of it. And then I incorporate all of that. You can't just be a one trick pony. You have got to multitask and diversify, even if you have medical massage in your history, but also understanding the energy lines in the body too.
Meridians and things of that nature.
Yeah, and understanding maybe even just a little aromatherapy, get certified in that too. That's a good thing to pull out for clients that want to get in their zen.
That's true. That's true. So, do you know Marsha Craven from the Healing Arts? She was here. She was in North Phoenix area, but they had a continuing education school here, and that's actually where I got licensed and
Okay.
certified. Well, I'm certified to do the lymphatic through her, but then she licensed her material because she to me because she's retired. So I'm the one that's going out there and teaching her material because it's amazing. And I love it.
Mm-hmm.
But what I wanted to say was, even though, like you said, it's good to have different tools, I took her cranial sacral course, and I
Mm-hmm.
never thought I'd be taking that type of class, but I don't know, something just told me that I should take it. And I've had to pull it out every blue moon, especially when you really, like, I always used to pray over my clients anyway before I got started with them and at the end, but really mostly at the end. But sometimes you gotta ground folks. and and you just have to hold them and so I find that was helpful to have that tool to pull out every blue moon when I needed to. I had it on my services for a while, but then I took it off because I wasn't doing it that much, so I just used to just integrate it in whatever I was doing, whatever type of session I was doing. So
Yeah.
I agree
And
with that.
people are open to that. People are open to different
Once
things.
they trust you, though, they're not going to do it if they don't know and trust you. I'm gonna tell you
This is
that.
true,
That is very
especially in
true.
our community.
Yeah, they don't know you. They're like, But if they've been seeing you talking about retention earlier. You've been seeing them for years or months or whatever the case may be. You're like, oh, I just took this class. I always tell my students, it's always good to integrate something new. If you just took this class, especially lymphatic, and a lot of the people who's learning lymphatic, they want to get away from some of the deep tissue.
Mhm.
You incorporate it and you add, like, listen, I just took this class. Can I do a little bit in the last, 10, 15 minutes of lymphatic on you? They
Yep,
trust you, like, absolutely. And then that's how you introduce it and then you can start doing full sessions. But
absolutely.
yeah, I thought that was interesting. So, one more thing just to end this great conversation that we're having. Is there any tips or resources that you think new therapists or students that they should, or even regular therapists, any resources that you would like to provide them with?
As far as resources, I do have some websites. As far as my website, I'm at sacredrootswellnessaz.com. And I'm on Facebook. I'm on not so much as Twitter. What is that other one? Instagram. Yeah, I try not to get all too much into the, like I'm on TikTok, but not really. Nah, I hope to be doing more things. I am getting married this year. And
Congratulations.
thank
That's
you.
great.
Thank you. So it's just like there's so much happening, and the conference too is like
Right.
so thankful for you for every opportunity.
Oh, thank you. So she is your resource. So she has a bunch of resources on her website. So make sure that we have it in the caption below where you can go and click on the link for hers. So I just want to like to say thank you, Audrey, again for being on this episode, and I look forward to seeing you.
Absolutely. I look forward to seeing you. Hopefully I'll see you before October, but if
Right.
not, I mean we local. There should be
I
any
know.
reason I
I
can't
know.
like lay eyes on you.
This is true. This is true. But absolutely, I'm trying to get out there and get some sessions in. I need a session of some bowls, some healing.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you again. And you guys, I look forward to seeing you again in the next episode.
Amen.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.